Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Yes, Zaron.
You know what's ridiculous?
I do.
Oh, hit me with it.
I'm going to. There's a project it's called the Museum of Non-Visible Art. Are you familiar with this?
No, never seen it.
Okay, good.
See what I did there?
It's it's art that doesn't exist physically.
Uh-huh.
It's just what's imagined by the artist. And you can buy it. You buy a card that has a description of this imagination thing and you hang it on your wall.
Okay.
And then this woman in 2011, she bought a piece called Fresh Air for $10,000.
What con man created this?
Well,
I love it.
I'm going to tell you. Here's the description of the art. A unique piece. Only this one is for sale. The art you are purchasing is like buying an endless tank of oxygen. No matter where you are, you always have the ability to take a breath of the most delicious, clean-smelling air that the earth can produce. It goes on, but I just don't want to read it. Anyway, so yeah. Do you know who the artist is?
Christo?
James Franco.
Oh my God, I was close.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Christo, James Franco.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so that's ridiculous.
That is mad ridiculous. So basically you're just buying a story from James Franco.
Yeah.
He's not a very good storyteller, though.
No.
Yeah. You ever read Palo Alto, his short story, any of the short stories in there?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Because we're both from the Bay Area, and wow.
Wowies. Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that. Well, I've got a story for you, Miss Dutton.
I'm ready.
Now, this is a story of beloved American treasure Willie Nelson. You know him. You love him.
Yes.
Well, this is about the time he visited the White House. And him being Willie, he went up and said, hey, how do I get up on the roof? Because I got this number I want to heat up. Now, there's also another story I got to tell you because this one is a double. It's about Waylon and Willie.
I love when they're together. I love them separately, but I love when they're together.
Oh, they're amazing together. Yeah. I mean, they're way better than salt and pepper, chocolate and vanilla. Everything you can name that's in pairs. Waylon and Willie are on top of that mountain. Now, the Waylon story I'm going to tell you is about this time that he bought a stolen bear.
Wait, a bear?
Yeah. Who was famous for eating a duffel bag of cocaine.
I can't. Okay.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm totally ready.
Get ready, because here comes some ridiculous stories of drug busts of my heroes of outlaw country. This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast about absurd and outrageous capers, heists, and cons. It's always 99% murder-free and 100% ridiculous. Elizabeth, do you remember the first time that you smoked pot?
No, man. I have no memory of it.
No? Well, I'll tell you this much. Everyone has a first time, right?
Sure.
Even Willie Nelson. Now, Can you imagine or even just guess how old Willie Nelson was when he first smoked pot?
6.
Pretty good guess.
Oh.
Pretty good guess. Much older than that, actually.
Oh, much older.
Much older. Surprising,
7.5.
right? Well, the year was 1954. And if you know when Willie was born, that can probably help, but I don't know if that's
that
common
would be
knowledge.
Helpful.
Willie was down in Texas at the time. He was in a bar outside Fort Worth. He was 21 years old at the time. And at that point, he'd been a professional musician since he was 13 years old. So we're on an 8-year professional career at this point. So he knew how to like throw back the bourbon with some grown-ass man energy, right? Now, at that same time, he's not smoking pot. He's not even entered into his world. He's hanging out at this bar. He's got his buddy, musician Fred Lockwood. And Fred's like, hey, Willie, I'm going to step outside and go blow tea. Willie's like, do what now? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go blow some tea. Fred tells him, like jazz cigarettes, head cabbage, come on, man, like some broccoli. Willie's like, what do you, the reefer. You're talking about the reefer, right? And he's like, yeah, man, come on now. So Fred rolls up a joint. He lights it, takes a few tokes, and he's like, Willie, you going to smoke with me? Willie's like, hesitant. Willie Nelson hesitant to have a joint passed to him. Fred pushes it on him. He's like, come on, man. And he says, and I quote, get high and be somebody.
Well, there it was.
Right? He just handed Willie Nelson his future. He's like, get high and be somebody, Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson's like, bet, son. So the funny thing is, for me, I don't know about for you, does nothing for him. He gets high, doesn't get high. doesn't work on Willie Nelson. First time he gets high?
The first time. I was under the impression that for a lot of people, the first time they smoke weed, it doesn't do anything.
I've heard this. That was not the case for me. I got blitzed, then went right to a family function, and I was like, that was a mistake. But anyway, second time Willie Nelson smokes. Boy, howdy, that time it works.
Yeah.
And then he becomes Willie Nelson.
Nice.
Now, Elizabeth, I promised you the story of Willie Nelson getting high.
You did make that promise.
At the White House.
Yes.
All right. Now, I would like to tell you this story, but first,
no,
I need you to do me a favor.
No, you can't.
I want you to close your eyes.
Okay.
Are your eyes closed?
No.
You're looking at me. Eyes closed. Dutton. You ready?
Yes. I'm very disobedient today.
I noticed this. Kind of childish, girl.
Now I am participating.
Okay. Eyes closed.
Yes.
You're standing in the Rose Garden of the White House. The year is 1980. Jimmy Carter is the president. Willie Nelson is on stage, and he's performing for just a small crowd. Now, he finishes playing Whiskey River, and for whatever reason, you have a headache. You're like, this pounding number in my head, I gotta go rest. So you make your excuses to leave the Rose Garden. You step inside the White House. You find a quiet space. You're left alone in the White House. It's the end of the 70s, the beginning of 1980. Security is different in the White House. They allow you to just meander through the halls. You go past the Lincoln bedroom. You look at some portraits, some busts. Your head's still pounding. So you go and you sit down in a big, overstuffed chair. You rest. You sort of drift off. Minutes later, you don't know how long, all of a sudden you come to, and there's the son of the president, Chip Carter, standing over you, and he's asking, you know where Willie Nelson is? You're like, what? Wait, what? And before you can answer, boom, you hear this voice. It's Willie Nelson. He's like, you looking for me? You're like, wait, and you turn your head. Willie Nelson is in the room with you, and Chip, you're like, hey, what's going on? Chip says, hey, come on, follow me, I know the spot. You're like, is he talking to me? You don't know what to do.
Right.
So you still have this headache, but you're like real curious where this is going. So you go ahead.
Am I Walter Mondale?
No, not in this instance.
Okay.
Normally
I am.
You would be Walter Mondale in this instance.
In most of my cosplay, I'm Walter Mondale.
This time not. You're not even Geraldine Ferraro. You're just Elizabeth Dutton hanging out in a chair with a headache. Willie Nelson, Chip Carter.
Got it.
Chip Carter says, come on, follow me. You're like, forget it. I'll do it. And you decide to follow.
All right.
Now, you go on, and Chip Carter leads you and Willie downstairs, and you're like, okay. You see that there's this one-lane bowling alley. You're like, oh. He tells you Nixon had it put in. Nixon, big bowler, that Nixon. You're like, okay, I can see that kind of a square, right?
That makes sense.
Chip's like, hey, Willie, you want to bowl a game? And you're like wondering if he's going to ask you. But Willie, before you can even be offended, Willie's like, no, but you know how we can get up on the roof? And you're like, I think I know what Willie wants. And Chip Carter's like, yeah, I know the way. Follow me. So he takes you back upstairs. Now you're back in the White House on the ground level. He leads you down a hallway into looks like a ballroom. It's a big empty room. He leads you over by the windows, and there is this door. It's a secret door. He does a little thing that you don't notice. All of a sudden the door pops open. He goes, come on, follow me. He leads you up the stairway. You're following Willie. You're just right behind Willie, face in his Levi's. Stare. And then all of a sudden you hear a door open and then light, and you pop out and you're on top of the White House.
Is that when it had solar panels?
Yeah, because Jimmy Carter would have put in the solar panels. Look at you. I like this.
Yes.
Willie Nelson says, look at that view. You guys stand there a moment. You gaze out of Washington, D.C. It's all lit up because it's nighttime now. Looks just beautiful. Look, Elizabeth, you see that? The Washington Monument. Oh, over there, National Mall.
So majestic.
Look at the Capitol. Now, Willie, he takes a swig of the beer he brought with him, and he lights...
Wait, so he's just strutting through the White House with a bottle of beer?
Yep.
Love it.
And he fishes a joint out of his pocket.
Of course he does.
He calls it an Austin Torpedo. And he's like, you got a light for this Austin Torpedo?
Oh, my God.
And then Chip passes him a lighter. He lights it, sparks that baby to life, takes a couple pulls, passes it to you. You're getting high with Willie Nelson on the roof of the home of the most powerful person in the world.
When do I tell them I'm a DEA agent?
Keep that to yourself.
Okay, I'll keep it to
Keep that under your cowboy hat. Now, when Willie records these same events later on, for some reason, I don't know why, Elizabeth, he leaves you out of the retelling.
Well, we...
Don't get your feelings hurt. It's Willie.
We had a falling out.
He may have just forgotten.
We had a falling out.
Oh, was it the Maui thing?
It was... I don't want to talk about the Maui incident.
Okay, well, put it out of your mind, and I'll just give you the quote that he says, his recollection of the events. You ready?
Uh-huh.
And I quote, sitting on top of the roof of the White House in Washington, D.C., late last night with a beer in one hand and a fat Austin Torpedo in the other, I drifted off into a reflective mood. My companion on the roof was pointing out to me the sights and the layout of how the streets run in Washington. It was a good way to soak up a geography lesson, laid back on the roof of the White House. So I let the weed cover me with a pleasing cloud and reflected on what long, strange trip it's been from smoking cedar bark and grapevine at the age of 4 or 5 to getting puke on your shoes drunk with my dad Ira at the age of 9 to sitting on the roof of the White House sharing a number in the warm, humid night. I guess on the roof of the White House is the safest place I can think to smoke dope. Hell, it'd only been a couple days ago that I was busted and locked in jail in the Bahamas for a handful of weed that I never even had a chance to set on fire. That's from his autobiography.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, you may be wondering, does the president and the Secret Service know that you're up here getting high with Willie Nelson and the president's son? The answer is maybe.
Yeah.
Wildcat. Now, Jimmy Carter has confirmed this story, by the way. This actually did happen.
Okay.
Carter has said, and I quote, when Willie Nelson wrote his autobiography, he confessed that he smoked pot in the White House, and he said his companion was one of the servants at the White House. Actually, it was one of my sons. So even Carter knew that his boy was up there getting high with Willie.
Yeah, I don't think stuff happens without people knowing.
Oh, especially not with Willie Nelson if he's in the White House.
Yeah,
you're like, where's our honored guest?
They got a beat on him.
Where's my eldest son? I think you can do the math. Anyway, so these days now, pot is basically legal in most states in America. I think what's like 28 out of the 50, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know the number.
But for most of my teenage years, pot was totally illegal. My college years, same thing. Now, these were also my dumb criminal years. So at any point, I could have caught a charge on pot and it would have ruined my life.
Yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, now, there are comedians. A lot of comedians have made this joke. Tom Segura, one that comes to mind, I think is my favorite version of this joke.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine telling a teenager today all the things that we had to do to buy pot from drug dealers?
Oh, wow.
Right? I mean, like I would drive 50, 60, 70 miles. I'd hang out with somebody. I hung out with drug dealers where they were playing with their pet snake. And I mean, I'm talking like an hour where I got to listen to talk about Call of Duty. I don't even play Call of Duty. I'm like, oh, yeah, man, that's the worst. Yeah, with the rumbling and stuff.
They pull out an acoustic guitar and you have to listen to them play for a while.
Oh, whoa, my God. The jam sessions? Yes. I've been there when harmonicas have come out.
Oh,
yeah, I've paid the price.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, you probably didn't have to do this because I don't imagine you were buying a lot of pot when you were a teenager. Yeah, well, It was bad out there.
Was it?
Just letting you know, So if you had to guess, just take a wild guess.
Okay.
How many times do you think Willie Nelson has been arrested for pot?
I know about the tax evasion, but the pot, I don't know. Tell me.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to run them down for you.
Ready? Yeah, list them off.
In 1974, Willie Nelson gets arrested for the first time. Now, that was about 50 years ago, so there's very few records on that. So that one we'll just call his first one, right? Second time he gets busted in 1977.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd been out on tour. He wanted to grab some rest and relaxation, so Willie planned to go down to the Bahamas. He decides he'd bring some weed with him. Maybe the weed in the Bahamas sucks. I don't know. Anyway, Willie gets caught, weed in his jeans, gets arrested, goes to jail. Now, Willie...
Is that the one he was referring to?
That's
okay.
Good memory. Look at you. You are paying attention.
Because I don't smoke weed.
You're right here, just lightning fast. Well, Willie, he doesn't let this whole pot charge stop him. He's like, I'm in the Bahamas. I came down to here to relax. So he has somebody smuggle in a 6-pack into the jail. He starts getting drunk in jail by himself. He gets released from jail, but by the time he gets released, he's drunk. And so when he gets out, he immediately falls over and hurts himself and has to go to a hospital.
Oh, God.
So then he's in the hospital. He gets let out of the hospital. He has to go to court. He goes to court. He still hasn't done any rest and relaxation. Goes to court. The judge tells him, look, man, we're going to release you on the condition that you never come back to the Bahamas ever again. Willie's like, bet. So he goes back to America, goes up on the White House, gets high with the president's son.
Logically.
Well, and by the way, President Carter was aware of this bust. He actually said at the time, and I quote, I'm glad everything turned out well for you in the Bahamas, Willie.
Look at him.
Yeah, Jimmy's smooth like that.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Now, number 3 of our busts, we have in 1994, Willie gets popped yet again. And yet again, it's in Texas. Now, he'd been playing poker all night, and it was an all-night game, so he's real tired. He decides to pull over on the freeway. He's out on the edge of West Texas by Waco, right? And I quote from Willie, It was foggy and the weather was bad, so I pulled over on the side of the road to sleep, and the policeman found me there in the back seat. They found a roach in the ashtray. Now, they also found some pot on the floor. He's leaving out some details. But they found pot in the car, right? Now, the state trooper's like, man, I don't care if you are Willie Nelson. You're going to jail because this here is Texas, and they pay me for that. So he gets busted. And the guy who busts him, his name is this guy, Sergeant Mike Cooper. Sergeant Mike Cooper said, I can't give you the details of the case. We found less than 2 ounces of marijuana in the car. It was about both baggy and rolled cigarettes.
God.
So Willie gets locked up, and he's out by morning, right? So that's bust number 3.
Okay.
Number 4, 2006, Willie Nelson is on his tour
he
bus.
went a long time without getting busted.
Skip through the whole 80s.
Good for him. Good for him.
Reagan era 80s doesn't get busted on pot.
He got wiser about how to move his stuff around.
Yeah, I'm proud of him pretty much.
That's good stuff.
So in 2006, Willie Nelson, he's on his tour bus, headed back home to Texas to pay his respects to Ann Richards, former governor of Texas.
Right,
She had her funeral. They were close friends. He's like, I got to get back to Texas. But he's trying to get through Louisiana. Louisiana is a state that's basically East Texas in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So they have to stop in a way station. Drug dogs come out. Of course, they smell some pot. The people are like, oh, we're bringing the drug dogs on. And the drug dogs find not 1, but 1.5 pounds of pot. And 3 ounces of magic mushrooms.
There you go.
So now Willie's facing 180 days in jail. 6 months, right?
That's not bad for pounds.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for pounds of pot, yes.
Think about the idiotic, dare I say, ridiculous sentencing that we've seen for
lifetime sentencing, federal.
Yeah.
If you had 3 pounds, that's a federal lifetime sentence.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you had weapons. You had weapons.
Well, yeah, those enhancements are, but just for the
but during the 3 strikes, that would be a big third strike.
Well, and doesn't that amount get you into what's it called, like distribution? It's not just personal use.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Anything over an ounce, you get into distribution. So he's looking at distribution charges, and he's got the magic mushrooms, so now he looks like he's an exotic dealer, right? So now Willie defends himself, and once again, I quote, "Both bus drivers were 50 years old. The other guys were 60 years old. My sister is 75. I'm 73. So it's like they busted an old folks' home."
Yeah.
Right? Now, I gotta like Willie's always trying to defer. He's like, doesn't mention the drugs. He's just, look, we're all old. Can't we? Let us have our drugs. Now, to get out of the jam, Willie and his band, they have a plan. They decide, you know what? Okay, there's no way any one of us can hold this weight, but if we all claim it, so they pull out a I am Spartacus, but for the pot, right?
Nice.
So they all say that the pot is theirs. And now the people are like, well, wait, which pot is yours? Oh, some of it in the bag is mine. And some of it's mine, the drummer. Some of it's mine, the Sister Bobby. Some of it's mine. So they all claim all of it. And so that means divided up, it's no longer now a felony amount for most of them. And in the end, Sister Bobby and Willie, they get 6 months probation and $1,000 fines.
Wow. Well, that's not bad.
Right?
I mean, they shouldn't get anything, but that's, they didn't have to do time.
Yeah, no, I'm completely there with you.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're doing it as a show trial, essentially. They like it because it's Willie. They're like, oh, we're going to get that guy who's known for pot and we're going to bust him. And then they basically shake a finger at all the, like, I don't know, do they still think of people as hippies? Whatever they think of people are who are smoking pot.
Whatever. I have my opinions.
Yes.
I just, it is so much more destructive to drink.
Oh, completely.
On yourself and on others.
Yes.
And I don't understand why weed is illegal and we can just let people get sauced. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's market dynamics, I think.
Well, sure. But what we're seeing now in states where it is legal, that there's money to be made. There's tax money to be made.
But there was the long-term thinking back in the day, like you're talking like the beginning of the weed scares, right? Like when you have like Ainsley and when you have like, what's his name? Hearst running all of the scare campaigns. The big thought was basically that this was a drug that Mexicans and black people do, and white women run down to jazz clubs and do it. So it was an undercutting of the moral order. And then also if people were high, they were less likely to join the workforce. And that's why coffee is free at a work site, and pot is considered bad. It was all about work and white women. So those are the real reasons why pot was illegal for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get down to it.
Yeah. And on top of that, Hearst was afraid that hemp was going to ruin his monopoly on paper.
Yes. Thank you, Producer Dave, with the historical facts.
Good one, David.
By the way, did you know, this is just a little fun fact for you, since we were talking about the White House and smoking pot, do you know who was the president who loved smoking pot? The first one, George Washington. He used to grow it, and in his diary, he would make notes about having to try to separate out the females from the males. You don't do that for anything unless you want to smoke the pot.
Wow.
Yes. So the very first one, he was a gauge head too.
He was all, this one has crystals on it.
Yeah, this one goes out to Willie. Well, let's take a little break, and I'll get back to you with some more Willie Nelson because I got more busts on that.
I can't wait.
Elizabeth.
Zaron.
I'd like to talk to you about pot and Willie Nelson.
So basically most of our conversations outside of this podcast.
Yes, exactly. All the things I'm always coming to you with. Hey, I've got this new joint holder.
Phone
Willie
rings.
Nelson style. Yeah.
Ring, ring.
Well, let's get back to his busts. I've got a couple more because I haven't told you the number yet, but it's...
Oh, that's right. Now, what were we on?
We were at 4.
4.
So this is our 5th.
Okay.
Okay? It's 2010. Just a few years later, and Willie Nelson gets busted again, this time at the infamous Sierra Blanca Homeland Security Border Inspection Checkpoint. That's out on the far west edge of Texas on the Interstate 10, on the I-10.
Okay.
We've actually driven through it together on a road trip.
Have we?
Yes, we have.
Oh.
And it's where all the musician tour buses get searched and musicians get busted. Fiona Apple got busted there once. Snoop's been busted there. When Florence and the Machine drive through, they don't go through there. Their tour manager will divert them 50 miles around.
She's smart.
Yeah, her name is Amy Davidson, by the way. So props to Amy Davidson.
Good for her. We didn't get busted there.
No.
I feel kind of left out.
But I was nervous. I won't lie.
I'm sure you were.
I was looking. I was eyeballing them. They were eyeballing me. We're like, don't we know each other? But when Willie gets busted at Sierra Blanca, which, by the way, Sierra Blanca, it means white saw. I thought I'd throw that one out there. So White Saw, he gets busted in White Saw. And here's Willie's version of the story. I quote, "I'd been in California hanging out for a while, and my bus had come out to pick me up because we had a couple of tour dates to do. And I'd forgotten that there was this little bag of weed on the bus that had been in the back there for weeks. Naturally, when they stopped us, the dogs came on, and the first thing they went to was that little bag of pot back there." Now, how much do you think was in that little bag of pot?
Oh, for him, a little, I don't know.
Ounces? It was ounces.
It was ounces, yeah.
So the sheriff of Hudspeth County, which is where this location is, his name is Arvin West. And Arvin West is a bit of a character. Yeah, he's the kind of local Texas sheriff who says things like, quote, he could get 100 days in county jail, which if he does, I'm going to make him cook and clean. He can wear the stripy uniforms just like the other ones do.
Oh, give me a break.
Yeah. So Willie...
He's all Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Oh, my God, completely. So Willie has to deal with this dude for a little while because he gets released, and then he tries to avoid having to go back to Hudspeth because he's like, I don't even want to deal with that Arvin West mother again. But Judge Becky Dean Walker, she won't accept any mailed-in plea agreements. She's like, I need to be hard on Willie to teach him a lesson, right? Because that's what you're going to do. You're going to teach this old dog new tricks.
Well, teach him a lesson, and I guess they're thinking that people will learn from
else. Yeah.
No one cares.
He's the scarecrow of pot. They want to use him to like send a message, right?
It's not what's going to happen.
No, everyone's like, get him, Willie. Sending him lighters.
Exactly.
So Judge Becky Dean Walker, she says at the time, quote, this is about the prosecutor whose name was Kurt Bramblett. So Kurt Bramblett was a fan of Willie Nelson, which pissed the judge off because he's the prosecutor. So the judge tells him, or actually tells the press about him, and I quote, he's supposed to file the charge he feels is appropriate, not what he feels he should do for his favorite singer. Now,
I like that voice.
Yeah, like that
That's
one?
a good one.
Now, to be fair, Kirk Bramblett had jokingly offered that the county would like pretty much write off all the charges against Willie Nelson if he would come into the court and sing for him, Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain.
Worth it.
Right?
100% worth it.
Now, County Commissioner Wayne West, Wayne West, and not to be confused with Arvin West, but I bet you they're related. Now, Wayne West, he had another condition. He said, look, if Willie Nelson comes back and he has to come back to deal with this charge, I'm going to insist that he listen to me sing one of my own songs.
He had a SoundCloud link.
He did. And he made Willie listen to him.
No,
he
did?
He did. He played a song for Willie. I want to watch you sit right there, Willie. Now just...
I'm so embarrassed for him right now.
If you feel like clapping along, just clap along. This is a good number.
You know, Willie Nelson's too kind-hearted to say anything, so he sat there.
He ain't that kind-hearted.
Oh, he's not.
No, he sat there and he like clapped along or whatever the guy asked him. And then he got the hell out of Hudspeth County. So that was his final pot bust. And what number were we at, Elizabeth?
Was that 6?
Very good.
Okay.
Very good. So we had, actually, that was his 5th. I'm sorry. I was a little early in my very goods.
Maybe I do smoke a little
Yeah,
weed.
just on the weekends. Well, now, Waylon, he wasn't a pot smoker. He's like you. Didn't really like the pot. But he's unlike you because what he did like was cocaine.
Oh.
Yeah, he loved it. He loved cocaine.
He did.
But that's why Waylon would write songs like, one of my favorite songs of his is the title, I've Always Been Crazy, but It's Kept Me From Going Insane.
Yep.
Right? Now, that's a Waylon song. Yeah,
yes.
It's a cocaine song. Now, in his autobiography, Waylon, he writes rather extensively about how much he loves cocaine. And I read the autobiography, and let's just say there are some choice quotes.
Oh, I bet.
Right? Now, like, for instance, he tells stories about how He would wake up in the middle of the night, go and snort a line, smoke a cigarette, and then go back to bed. Like, he couldn't make it through a night's sleep without having to go. And not like a little bump, a rail. He's doing 2 and 3 inch rails.
Oh, God.
Right? He even said that he loved the taste of cocaine.
And the smell of it?
No, he did. He liked the smell of it and the taste of it. It tastes like floor polish. It's terrible. I'd rather snort Drano. I mean, for the smell, I'm saying, not for the burn. Now, Waylon also used to say that he was a happy druggie. He was the happiest druggie you ever saw.
Okay.
But he's like, I'm not one of those downer drug users, right? Now, in his autobiography, he tells all these stories about how, like, he would regularly stay up for 6-7 days on cocaine.
Oh.
That ain't easy, right?
No.
It's not like speed. You got to be doing like every 20-30 minutes. So every 20-30 minutes for 6 days, 7 days in a row, he's
probably
doing rails of
expensive,
cocaine.
I would imagine.
Oh, God, yeah. Now, Waylon also would sit up and he would smoke about 5 packs of cigarettes a day. Some accountant heard this and didn't believe him. He was like, I've done the math, and it is physically impossible for you to smoke 5 packs of cigarettes a day. And Waylon's like, not if you're awake for 24 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on now, doc.
Oh, boy.
So you asked about how much it would be to be snorting so much cocaine. Well, you didn't really ask, but you inferred that it would be expensive. Yeah. Waylon said in his autobiography, and I quote, at $100 a gram, I was buying it for $20,000 a pop. You can't keep everybody's habit up. And my intake was reaching $1,500 a day.
Wow.
Now, you may be wondering, how is it possible to snort that much cocaine, Waylon? And Waylon's like, I got you. Here's what you need to do. So, and I quote, I would snort 0.5 gram on one side of my nose and 0.5 gram in the other. Shotgunning it.
Oh.
The top of most people's heads might have come off if they'd done that. I must have had the constitution of 10 men.
Oh, my God.
Do you know how much cocaine 0.5 gram is to be doing it one sitting? It's a lot.
It's a lot. He's like pouring it in his ears.
Yeah, like that could, just intaking 0.5 gram of cocaine could probably put a lot of people down. Like literally just put them down.
Just burst their heart.
Waylon's like, yeah, nope. Now, once again, I've got to say, to be very responsible, Waylon would not recommend you do cocaine. He said, don't ever do cocaine. It's a terrible drug. I agree with him. Cocaine has cost me friends. I think it's a terrible drug.
Yeah.
If you want to do a drug, smoke pot. Be like Willie Nelson. That would
Yeah.
be my pick. In fact, I don't even really consider pot a drug, but we don't need to get into all that.
Yeah.
But Waylon used to say, I don't say any of this to advocate drugs at all. I think drugs are killers. Ultimately, they ruin your life and the lives of the people who love you.
Mm-hmm.
That's an important point to remember.
Yeah.
And also the cocaine he was doing didn't have fentanyl in it. It didn't like, one snort and you drop. So this is also to keep in mind. Now, I'm going to tell you a story of Waylon outsmarting the DEA.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
This story goes 1977. I'm going to keep you in the 70s for most of this.
I love that.
Okay, I thought you would. So Waylon's manager, and by the way, Waylon and Willie have the same manager. And in 1977, Willie figures out that his manager has not been paying his taxes. And this is what's going to eventually lead to the IRS tapes that he has to record in the 80s to pay for his taxes. He finds this out and he's like, what the hell? And he goes to tell Waylon, man, that our manager is junk, right? And so Waylon's like, oh, man, I'm already dealing with him. I got him he's trying to send me cocaine down from New York because he says I'm spending too much on cocaine. So the same manager who's not paying Willie's taxes is sending cocaine in the mail to Waylon, right? So this guy's just skirting the edge. Eventually, the guy gets busted, this manager, for the stuff he does with Willie on the taxes. And then the manager, there's this other manager, the assistant, he gets caught up in this whole cocaine deal I'm about to tell you. And Willie is so impressed when the guy says, I'm willing to take the charges for Waylon. He makes him his manager. So it's all country logic. Right?
Yeah, that's why it's called outlaw country.
Exactly. Yeah. So you ready for some real outlaw country?
Yes, please.
Okay. Waylon's manager, as I told you, he's worried about how much Waylon is spending on cocaine because he's spending thousands of dollars. He's worried about him getting busted because he's buying cocaine from anybody who has white powder, right? And he's traveling a lot, so he doesn't always know where to get it. So it means he has to go out to black markets and so forth. So he's putting himself at risk. He's like, look, I'll send you some cocaine from New York. Right? So that's his answer.
Like a care package.
Yes, exactly.
This man can't send a check to the IRS, but he can send a package of coke.
He knows where to get cocaine.
Yeah,
which I think actually makes sense. So now, Waylon has this right-hand man named Richie Albright. And Richie Albright is going to be all throughout this story. So when I say Richie or Richie Albright, that's what I'm talking about. And they're waiting in the studio in Nashville, recording for his album that's about to come out. He's also doing some tribute work on a Hank Williams track. And so he's doing back-end vocals on the Hank Williams track while also recording his album. And the cocaine has not arrived yet. And he's like worried about it. And he's like telling Richie about it between takes. And Richie's like, well, yeah, it'll come down. Don't worry about it, Hoss. And he's like, man, I just really need that cocaine. And he's like, yeah, I know. So Richie's sitting there with him. And Waylon's like, man, I just don't know when it's going to be down here. Richie's like, well, how long has it been? And Waylon's like, about 3 days. Richie's like, well, that ain't good, Hoss. Because he knows that cocaine should not take that long to get from New York to Nashville.
Yeah.
So they eventually hear from the delivery service that the package has arrived. So Waylon's like, thank God. So they send the secretary out to go get it. She goes out to the airport, picks it up. She comes back, but she apparently does not see the DEA agents following her back to the studio.
That's a dumb move. Yeah, I'm going to go pick it up from the airport. No.
Oh, yeah.
You just that stays unclaimed.
Yes.
If they tell you to pick something up at the airport.
So return to sender. So here's how Waylon remembers it. His secretary returns to the studio with the package of cocaine. And I quote.
And does it say in like spray painted block letters, cocaine on the outside?
Not cocaine. So I quote, and this will answer your questions. It said via World Courier Incorporated. I had an inkling of what it might be. I stuck the package under my arm and I walked into the studio area, setting the package down on the music stand in front of my microphone. I opened the wrapping. Inside, I found a second package. I cracked that open and I took a quick peek, long enough to ensure myself it contained packs of cocaine. I put it on the music stand and I tucked my headphones back over my ears, but instead of music coming over the headphones, I heard a crowd of people. There was this voice saying, we followed a package that came in here. We're from the Federal Drug Enforcement Agency. What happened to the package the girls just delivered? Now, Richie Albright, he's working the soundboard at this time. And then Waylon is in the recording studio. So they're separated by that clear glass window, and they have to use a microphone to speak to each other.
Right.
Well, Richie kind of leans over on the soundboard and puts his hand over the talkback microphone so that now Waylon can hear everything. And that's what he's hearing in his headphones. But the DEA agents, they're not sound people. They don't know what's going on. They can't see Waylon. Therefore, they assume Waylon can't see them or hear them.
Right.
He knows everything that's going down, right? So while the DEA agents are hassling on, Richie Albright's like, there ain't no package here. Now, y'all need to get going. We're working here, right? Now, Richie Albright is really insistent on this, and the DEA agent's like, no, we're down here for the package. And so Richie Albright says, and I quote, well, okay, you guys got a search warrant? They said, no, but we can get one. I said, okay, but while you're getting that search warrant, we're going to keep working here because it's costing us $250 an hour. I told the agent, y'all just best be quiet.
I love it.
Now, so Waylon is like scrambling what to do with the cocaine that he knows is in there with him, right?
Is he
like,
going to snort it all?
But it's sitting there right on his music stand. So he's like, can I get all of it done?
He's like, I can do 5 pounds in like 48 seconds.
Yeah. How big a straw am I going to need to do all of this cocaine? So Waylon, and I quote, he says, I grabbed that package from the music stand and I threw it away behind me. And I couldn't make that shot again in a million years. It slid under a baseboard by the wall, just as pretty as you please. Now, Waylon has finally ditched the cocaine and Richie sees this. So he tells Waylon that they should get back to recording the song because he's trying to give him cover. So he's like, oh, hey, Waylon, let's try it from the top. And so Waylon, without missing a beat, he starts singing a song, right? Now Waylon says, quote, Richie hit play and record and the tape started turning. I did the harmony. It was a good take, and that was the harmony that we used on the record. So Waylon's happy with the take. He comes into the control booth, and he's like, hey, Richie, play that one back. Turn up the music. Let me hear how that sounds. And so Richie does as told, hits the music. The speakers come alive. The 4 or 5 DE agents have to listen to Waylon singing all loud in the speakers. He sits down. Richie Albright leans over next to him, and he starts like pointing at the speakers like they're talking about the music. He's like, do you know what's going on? Waylon whispers back, hell yeah, I know what's happening. The DE agents, now they don't know anything about what these two are talking about because they're waving their fingers. They keep talking about, they're talking about music, right? Now he's like, Richie's like looking at him. He's like, hey, Hoss, I'll take this. I'll take this one for you. I'm taking it. And Waylon's like, what? Oh, he tells Richie Albright, you ain't taking Now, he assumes his right-hand man. Just be calm and don't let them sons of bitches scare you. So the two of them have a plan. They're going to manage to get this cocaine past these DEA agents.
Okay.
Now, how they decide to do that is left to be decided. So Waylon is sitting there and he's like, okay, obviously the man of the hour. The DEA agents, once the song ends, they come over and they go, Waylon, we got these warrants for you. So Waylon, in his autobiography, recounts he took out 2 warrants, one for possession of cocaine and the other for conspiracy with further intent to distribute. I took some time to look them over, and after a while, I handed them back. I don't know, I shrugged, but you said possession. I don't see anything around here, do you? And we know it's here, Waylon, the agent says, right?
Yeah.
Waylon says, well, if it is here, finding it might be a problem. So now it's a challenge. And let's see if you boys are real smart with your patent leather shoes. So Waylon's like, I got to get back to work. We're recording this album. So he and Albright keep up with their like masquerade. Now, he's still trying to decide what to do. He's taking the cocaine off the music stand. He's tossing it under the floorboards, but he knows that's not the best hiding place because the agents will eventually tear this place apart.
They will tear a place up.
Exactly. So he's sitting there like trying to decide, I got him stalled for right now. What can I do? And Richie's like, I got a plan. So Richie Albright's like, Hey, Waylon, you go on back there and, we'll take this next track. So Waylon does as he's told, goes back in the recording studio with the cocaine, and he starts getting ready. He sings about 16 bars on the next track. Richie hits the talk back button. Someone need to change that microphone. Hang on right there. I'm going to come in and change that microphone. So he gets up and he goes in the recording booth. He's like, Waylon, where is that? So Waylon like kind of points at it with his eyes about where it is. And so then Richie Albright, he picks the story back up at this point. He says, so I go out there moving the microphone. I found the package. I put it in my pants. I come back out, right? And around that same time, Waylon's booking agent arrives. So now the scene's getting more chaotic. And by the way, the booking agent is half drunk. So he shows up half drunk with all these DEA agents. He's like, what's going on here? What are y'all doing? We're paying a lot of money. And so he's getting all loud. Waylon starts yelling at the booking agent. You shut up. We need him dealing. So the two of them start fighting. This gives the distraction that Richie needs to go and run off to the bathroom. So he then slips away to the bathroom, takes the cocaine out of his pants, dumps it in the toilet, flush. The DEA agents all turn their head when they hear that flush. They know exactly what it means. Yeah. And as Waylon would later brag in his autobiography, they never did find anything.
Wow. God.
But since they're the DEA, they still decide to arrest Waylon. So they bust him with or without the cocaine. Right. He has to go and get arrested and do the perp walk. And then eventually the feds, the case falls apart because of the bad arrest warrants, because they didn't have it for the studio, they had it for his office. So it's a whole problem.
Oh, okay.
And then the prosecutors have to let it go. Waylon takes that as an inspiration to write a new hit song called Don't You Think This Outlaw Bit's Done Gone Out of Hand?
A little bit.
Yeah, right? So eventually in the 80s, Waylon decides to quit doing cocaine because of these various issues in his life that cocaine keeps bringing in. Now, after this quick little break, and you guys can enjoy some morsels of advertisements, I'll get back to you with the very promised story of the Cocaine Bear.
Okay.
So I told you, Elizabeth, how Waylon had been able to sneak the cocaine past the DEA agents thanks to Richie Albright. And he manages not to go to jail. So he also, as I told you right before the break, decides to quit doing cocaine.
Good for him.
Right? Great choice. So when he quits, he decides to do it the country way, which means cold turkey, no help, no going to rehab, no talking to anybody. He just locks himself away and says, I'm just going to sweat it out, right? Yeah. But first, he's got to get rid of all the temptation. So he goes around his house and he gathers up all his little secret stashes because he's been tucking away cocaine for years. He never wants to run out of cocaine.
It's everywhere.
It is everywhere. So he gathers up all of his cocaine and then he hands it to his wife, Jessie Coulter. Now, how much cocaine do you think he gathered up from his house?
In all these little bits and pieces.
Little bits and pieces tucked away here and there.
60 pounds.
Not quite. It wasn't a small child of cocaine. It was just a nice, reasonable half pound of cocaine. Just
half a pound.
Tucked away as his I need some, just in case I'm going to run out. Like Columbia's going to stop making cocaine.
Dang.
Yeah. So Jessie takes all this coke to the bathroom and he hands her this half pound of cocaine. And she's singing the praises of Jesus the whole time, right? So she's in there. She's got a half pound of cocaine. She's dumping it in the toilet, flushing it, going, oh, praise Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Sweet Jesus. Jesus is great. Jesus is love.
And then meanwhile, all the fish in the watershed are just bugging out.
Totally different. Thank you. So as I had told you, we're going to get into the story of the Cocaine Bear. Now, Waylon Jennings, as I told you, is a big lover of cocaine.
Yes.
And then eventually quit.
Yes.
But he still had a hankering for that rough knockabout cocaine lifestyle he used to enjoy. So even after he quit doing cocaine, he would still have certain cocaine collectibles. One of those cocaine collectibles was the Cocaine Bear.
Is this like a cocaine hippo?
Kind of. It has something to do with Pablo Escobar.
Aha.
Yes,
okay.
Right? In 1985, there was this 78-word story published in the New York Times.
78 words.
78 words. It's a very short story.
Microfiction.
Yeah, you don't see that in newspapers really much anymore, right? The headline was Cocaine and a Dead Bear.
Oh.
Well, it's not that bad. Bears die, but the cocaine.
I know, but
yeah, that was the headline. It was real New York Times 80s. Cocaine and a dead bear. And you're like, oh. So did someone shoot him on a subway? What happened?
Yeah, what's going on?
So the Times paints the scene, and I quote, "A 175-pound black bear apparently died of an overdose of cocaine after discovering a batch of the drug. This bear was found in the North Georgia woods." Now, the bear had not purchased this cocaine. The bear wasn't like a cokehead, but
he was at a truck stop.
The bear wasn't hanging out with Waylon Jennings. He was nothing about the Waylon and all was involved in this part of the story, right?
Good.
But the bear did do a lot of coke, right? Now, the bear had discovered a duffel bag full of cocaine just sitting in the woods.
Oh, no.
And being a bear, he ate the cocaine.
Yeah.
And that was it for Mr. Curious Bear. So, boom.
That is so sad.
75 pounds of cocaine were in one duffel bag. And there was multiple duffel bags, right?
Did Waylon drop it?
Yes, right? He's like, my stash.
He was traipsing through the woods and he dropped his duffel. Yeah, he was just hiking.
His day bag. So it was about $450 million worth of cocaine.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it was a good amount of cocaine. There was these cocaine smugglers who'd been flying it up from Colombia, and they planned to deliver the cocaine into the southeast United States.
Yeah.
And things went awry, and the smuggler had to leap from his little tiny Cessna plane, but he decided, you know what, I'm taking the cocaine with me. So he straps the cocaine to him in the duffel bag, gets his parachute, throws a couple bags out, and then dives out of the plane.
Yeah.
Doesn't work well for him.
Oh, no.
So the cocaine lands in the Appalachian woods. The smuggler lands in a driveway in a suburb one state away.
Yikes.
Didn't survive the fall. That story, mind you, will soon be a new movie called Cocaine Bear.
No.
I swear to God. It's coming out in 2023, and it should be, I believe, Ray Liotta's last film.
Oh.
And I bet you he wins the Oscar for it because it's a cocaine movie with Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta as Cocaine Bear.
He has cocaine.
He stars as cocaine. No, he's the bear. He's going to be in a little bear costume.
I like that. Yeah, it's like a
with
Ewoks, but with cocaine.
Eyeliner.
Yeah, bright eyeliner. He's got his eyes. That's how you know it's Liotta.
Exactly.
So this news story, I told you, is about a bear. It's also about Waylon Jennings. How do they come together?
I am afraid to know.
And if it wasn't the cocaine, what was it? Taxidermy, your other favorite.
Oh.
Yes. So someone gets this bear. They taxidermy the bear. They rename the bear Pablo Escobar.
Stop it.
Yes. And
is that like something from Build-A-Bear? Pablo Escobar?
So this the newest, latest from Build-A-Bear, Pablo Escobar, goes on display at a rest stop in Georgia.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so Pablo Escobar, he's at the visitor center of the Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area.
Did they have him in board shorts and sunglasses?
Yeah, doing a cool guy pose.
Cool guy.
Thumbs up, he's hanging out with Spuds McKenzie.
Finger guns, yeah. all of the taxidermied cool guy animals.
The Cool Guy Club.
Was he stuffed with cocaine?
That would have been a good use of the cocaine.
What if he is?
Yeah, no, he was not, because Waylon tried. That's why he bought the bear. No, it's not.
What? It's I thought he quit.
No, I promise you he did. In the 90s, there's a fire at the Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area. And the whole building, the visitor center, burns. They have to clear out all the Indian artifacts. They have to clear out all those various local relics and nostalgia. But exactly, thank you, right? And then, of course, obviously, Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
So they take this and they put it all in storage units, right? And a month later, after they rebuilt the recreation center.
So that stuff didn't burn?
No, it was all saved, right? So
okay.
Just the recreation center itself, but most of the stuff that was in glass cases and stuff seemed to make it through the fire.
Okay.
It was mostly a structure fire, right?
Got
so it's all in these storage units. Takes a month to rebuild it. They go down to the storage units to go and grab the stuff to take it back. There's nothing in the storage units. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's all gone, right? Just empty.
Whoa.
Not even a note I took it. I needed the cocaine. Nothing, right? So Pablo Escobar, the gone.
Someone's just going to suck on the fur of the bear, hoping there's a little in there.
I know there's some in there. The bear, he ate 75 pounds. No, he actually didn't eat that much. But anyway, Waylon Jennings ends up with this bear, right? Now, you're wondering, how the hell could Waylon Jennings end up with a bear? He's not going to be hanging out with people who are breaking into storage units.
Maybe he is.
But maybe he is in these truck stops. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Turns out, let me back up. I need you to know something about Waylon Jennings. The dude loved to collect stuff. It wasn't like he just had the Pablo Escobar. He also had a robe that Muhammad Ali had worn when he beat up Leon Spinks in the 80s fight. He had two of Willie Nelson's braids that he had been given.
His hair?
His braids, yeah. When Willie cut his braids, he gave them to Waylon, and Waylon's like, "Thank you, Willie," and he proudly displayed them in his home. He had a motorcycle that once belonged to Buddy Holly, who he was a guitar player for back in the day.
Yes, exactly.
And he had a pair of Dukes of Hazzard General Lee Dodge Chargers because, he was the narrator for that.
Yeah.
Great job on on that. And he had Cocaine Bear. So this was all in his collection.
So he's a collector.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
The police who are supposed to solve this mystery, they eventually track down the stolen artifacts, and they show up at a pawn shop in Nashville. And the shop owner's like, oh, okay, you got me, man. They're like, well, wait, where's all this stuff? He's like, I sold it, man. Stuff's all gone. Like, well, wait, okay. Where are the Native American artifacts? He's like, beats me. He's like, well, do you have receipts? I probably could find them. He's like, okay, well, where we really would like to find Pablo Escobar. And he's like, okay, that one I do know where it is.
I like that they care more about that than the artifacts.
Oh, yeah, that's the one that everyone in the press wants to know about.
And where is Hazel's butter churn?
Exactly. No, just need the bear. The Cocaine Bear will be good,
give
sir.
Me the Coke Bear.
So the guy's like, okay, well, I happen to know where that is. And so he writes down Waylon Jennings' address, slips it to the cops. The cops go and they drive across Nashville. They show up at Waylon's place. Waylon's sitting outside and he's like, hey, officers. Just gives them like a big old howdy. And they're like, hey, Waylon. And they start walking to him. They're like, no, Waylon, we came out here because we heard you might have some property that could have been stolen from down Georgia way. And he's like, what are you talking about? What do you got there? And he's like, we're looking for a Cocaine Bear. And he's like, oh, yeah, Pablo Escobar. And they're like, you have it, Waylon?
I can't take that he's called Pablo Escobar.
Oh, it's the best.
That's so good.
So the police are like, yeah, man, Waylon, look, we don't want to have any problems. We're not going to tell the press about it. If you can just give us the Cocaine Bear, we'll go take it back down to Georgia. All problems solved. Waylon's like, officers, I'd love to, but I no longer have Pablo Escobar. They're like, what do you mean you don't have Pablo Escobar? He's like, look, man, I don't have it. They're like, okay, well, did you sell it? And he's like, no, well, I may have traded it. And he's like, what do you mean you traded it? I gave it to a Las Vegas Coke dealer. They're like, what? No. He's like, yeah. So when they hear that, these Nashville cops, local cops, they're like, man, ain't no way no one's going to send us to Las Vegas to go get a stuffed taxidermy bear.
Yeah.
So that's where the tale of the missing Cocaine Bear ends. Nobody knows. Only Waylon knows where the Cocaine Bear went.
What?
That and whoever actually has it. Because this
Did
alleged
they search
Las
his
Vegas.
house?
No, they didn't. Well, they didn't. They took his word. And so they believed him when he said, yeah, it's over in Las Vegas.
Cocaine Bear became sentient and was hiding in the basement.
He may have never actually been dead. He was just like real stiff from all the cocaine. He wasn't actually taxidermied.
His jaw was just
He's
tight.
just gritting the whole time. Well, that is the mystery of the Cocaine Bear, except for one other thing. No charges were filed against Waylon. They let him go.
Good.
That was his last big legal tussle.
Yeah.
So there you go. Some of my favorite drug busts from Outlaw Country.
I love it. I love it.
So Elizabeth, what's our ridiculous takeaway here?
So my takeaway would be that Outlaw Country is the coolest of all genres.
Hard agree.
Love it. And I would say that if you have a Cocaine Bear in your house,
yes,
I would keep that under your hat. I wouldn't let people know.
I might even give the bear a hat to wear so you can act like,
Give him a hat.
Cocaine Bear wouldn't be wearing a hat like that.
Willie's braids on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Zaron, what's your ridiculous takeaway?
Look at me. I'm all aflutter.
I know. I asked
you
for the
asked
first
me.
time. I care.
You see me. You hear me.
I want to know about your journey. Let me have it.
Well, my journey is this. Don't do cocaine.
Yeah,
that's
a good
It's a terrible drug. Just do not do cocaine. There's nothing good that will come from doing cocaine.
100% agree. Yeah.
So other than that, I think Willie Nelson has put it best in his song, Nothing I Can Do About It Now. And if you'll allow me, I'm going to give you just a couple lyrics from this song because this is like I don't want to say a motto of my life, but it's an operating standard.
Yeah.
You ready? I've got a long list of real good reasons for all the things I've done. I've got a picture in the back of my mind of what I've lost and what I've won. I've survived every situation, knowing when to freeze and when to run. And regret is just a memory written on my brow. And there's nothing I can do about it now.
Amen.
Well, thanks for joining us. I am Elizabeth Dutton.
And I am Willie Nelson. Hey, everybody.
It's her, Willie Nelson. You can find us online at Ridiculous Crime on both Twitter and Instagram. You got a tip for us about a ridiculous crime you'd like to hear about it? Hit us up. You want to confess to a ridiculous crime? Let us know. Email us at ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. We'll catch you next time. Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton and Zaron Burnett. Produced and edited by Snoop Dogg's personal joint roller, Dave Koustin. Research is by cannabis cultivation connoisseur and small batch curator, Marissa Brown. The theme song is by Coach of the California Crons, Thomas Lee, and our resident Midnight Rider, Travis Dutton. Executive producers are Ben, Jimmy Carter Was Right, Bolin, and Noel Honeysuckle Rose Brown.
Ridiculous crime.
Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.